Y Balvin, Willy William, ¿te gusta? Freeze. Los DJ no mienten, le gusta a mi gente y eso se fue mundial. No les bajamos, mas nunca paramos, es otro palo y blanco.
¿Y dónde está mi gente?
Me fue a bouger la tête.
¿Y dónde está mi gente?
Okay, let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I know we've got so many different countries plugged in. Currently, we are over 300 people on a Saturday, which is incredible. I want you to go to the chat box and represent where you're from, your country, your city, your village, whatever it might be, but let us know where you are tuning in from. Oh wow, we've got Greece on here, Amsterdam, Scotland, China, Hong Kong. Okay, that chat box is going too fast for me right now. I cannot even keep it. New York, Belgium, Somalia, Mars. Okay, welcome from Mars. I've never had someone from Mars before on my call, but first time for everything, right? And for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Asra Hussain. I'm a Chairman 10 based in the UK, and I am insanely excited right now, ridiculously excited. I've been excited for about a week over this call because this is the first time. In fact, I think this is probably the biggest call that I've done in my career in terms of who I've got on my call. So I have the pleasure and I have the privilege of having not just one, but two Chairman 500s on this call right now, and I've never had both of them together at the same time on a call with me to deliver nuggets, to share you guys their knowledge of how they've got to where they have so far. And these two gentlemen, they're only aged 25 and 28, and their success has been incredible. They were the company's very, very first Chairman 500s, and they are not only just Chairman 500, but they are also the 8th highest earner in the world in home business. That alone, ladies and gents, deserves a wow. Can somebody just go to the chat box and write wow, because that, being aged 25 and 28 and being the 8th highest earner in the world in home business, that really is incredible. There's so much that I could say about these two gentlemen because, you know, I've never come across two people who have gained so much success in a short space of time on using this platform and are still so humble and so down to earth and so incredibly caring and just willing to help everyone and anyone. When you see these two, you would not believe that they're multimillionaires because the way they act and they behave and the way they work is as though they've achieved nothing. And that to me is just the definition of servant leadership. So I'm not going to take up too much time because I know you've come on to see them and to not see me. And I have taken into consideration all the questions that you guys sent me. We've put it together and we are going to dig into their brains and pick all the knowledge that they've got and get the best nuggets that we can. So make sure you have notepad and pen ready. You know my line by now, the note takers are the money makers. And trust me, for this call, you want to take a hell lot of notes. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you guys the two Chairman 500s. Let me just find them on the call. Chairman 500, Mr. Jason Brown and Matt Rosa. Jason and Matt, can you guys hear me?
Asra, I am here.
I'm looking for Chris Terry. Let me find you.
I'm over here somewhere.
Oh, hang on. Let me unmute Matt. Matt, there we go. I've unmuted you. Can you hear me, Matt?
I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you guys?
I'm good. It's good to see you guys. I see a lot of familiar faces on this call, a lot of new friends. So excited to be on here with you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming on.
I'm excited to be here too. So, guys, Saturday morning, packed out, people from all over the world. Does it get any better than that? I guess not. Okay.
I'm looking, Jason, I'm looking at the chat box, right? It's just going crazy. Like I'm getting a lot of private messages, guys. You guys are doing private. Just make sure in the chat box you change Asra to everyone.
I see the chat box. Yeah, it's like 90 degrees in my apartment right now because I left one of the doors open. So if it looks like I'm sweating, I probably am. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited. I'm ready to get this thing kicked off. So Asra and everybody out there, we appreciate you for being here. And we hope that you guys get extreme value out of today's training.
Basically, Jason and Matt, now the reason why I reached out to the two of you in the first place is because, especially from the UK and Europe, and we have a lot of Asia on the call right now. Asia have never seen you guys because unfortunately they don't get to fly out to Vegas and Miami and see you guys on the big stage. But so Asia's never seen you. UK and Europe, we only ever see you on the big stages and there's always thousands of people, but we never get to know you guys a little bit more intimately and, pick at your brains and get some of those nuggets, which is why we put questions together. And, they were on my case to get you guys on a call so that we can get some knowledge on how you guys, how you got from where you started to where you are right now. So if we could start from the beginning, Jason and yourself, Matt, if you could share with us what you were doing before IML, and then why is it you got started in this industry and what brought you to where you are today?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Matt, you want to go first? You want me to go first? What do you want to do?
You go first.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, look, guys, again, I'm excited to be here. And, I'll share a little bit of my story. I don't want to go too long because I know we have a lot of different things that we want to talk about today. But as far as me getting into the industry, I'll go back just a little bit before, about 10% before. I went to college just like about 80% of people in the United States do. Out here, I know it's a little bit different around the world, but we actually pay for college. I know in some countries when I've traveled in Europe, I don't know how it is in Asia. But, some places, they actually let you go to college and the government pays for it. Well, here, if you get a scholarship, something like that, then maybe the school will pay for you. But for the most part, 80, 90% of people go to college and end up with something called student loan debt, right? And so I was a victim. I went to school, got my degree, but I felt the need to go for school more so because I didn't know, all right, if not this, then what? So went to explore and figure it out. And, when I got out and I had this degree, I wasn't really fulfilled in, different internships and traditional jobs that I was working. I mean, I was making some money, but I didn't really have time. And as I got introduced to, what I call just that next level of thinking, the right side of the cash flow quadrant where the wealthy people think, right? And the wealthy people make their living. I started to realize that time was more valuable than money. And so as I got introduced to the network marketing space, this was 2 years before trading was even a reality, maybe 2.5. I wouldn't say skeptical, but I was uneducated. And so in this story, there's a couple of lessons, but the first lesson is, if you're out there talking to people about the business, you might be talking to people that are just like me, right? That waited 5-6 months to actually get started and fall in love with network marketing due to a lack of education. Nobody ever sat down and really showed me what the industry is and how many millionaires are created and how much wealth is created and how many people are involved. And, if you don't know those numbers, you need to go do that research and find out that the direct sales network marketing space is one of the greatest, if not the greatest industry in the world, and certainly the highest paying industry in the world. I don't know where else, two young guys like me and Matt could go make literally millions of dollars and not be athletic, not be rappers, not be singers, and not be, major CEOs. So it is a beautiful industry. So I got involved, and for the first 2 years, I was involved in product-based companies, trying to open new countries and get products through, customs and, get momentum moving when it's hard to get somebody excited about their health. It's hard to get somebody excited about losing weight, but it's even harder to get them to allocate money towards that because they see money as a means of survival, and most people do. And so actually, Matt was really intrigued about Forex. I was actually not, because I'm good at math. I'm good at numbers, multiplication, division, all that stuff, but simple. I don't like anything beyond, right? I'm not a scientific guy. I hated all that. X plus Y over ABCD equals G. You know, I don't like it. So when I heard about trading, not too much. You know, Matt lost some money. He'll probably tell you about that a little bit. But I just wasn't intrigued until I met Chris Terry. And when I met Chris Terry, it was a simple decision for me. It was a 24-hour, probably 24-minute decision to get started as a customer. And Matt and I became customers for about 60 days. This is back in November 2015, and fell in love with the vision. Now, there was only one product when we started, you know? So for us, when we got in, it was the harmonic scanner and some live training and some recorded training. But it was cool because we were able to see the potential. We were able to see people around us getting it. I had some personal results. Matt had some personal results. And we were able to come from a very genuine place and say, you know what, this makes sense and the world needs to know about it. And so that's really how I got my start in the industry, a little bit of the prelude towards getting into IML. So Oscar, I'll throw it back to you.
Jason, thank you. Matt, I'm just going to find you and unmute yourself. If you could share with us what you were doing, because Matt, I remember you telling me your story. It was very, very interesting how, you know, you were working so many hours at your job. I think it was in labor, you were saying. So if you could share with us what you were doing before iMarketSive and why you even got started in this industry. Hang on, let me unmute you. There we go.
We're good?
Yeah, I can hear you. This is going to be like a little battle of mute, unmute, mute, unmute.
Nah, it's cool. I'm going to leave myself unmuted from here on out.
I feel like a DJ, the amount of buttons I'm pressing, I'm telling you.
Well, I'm stoked to be on this call right now. I mean, life is different. Conversations are different. The views are different right now. At the apartment, overlooking this while on a call on a Saturday morning with some of my favorite people in the entire industry, right? And it's wild because when I first started in iMarketSive, the goal was not to build this. The goal was not to be traveling, to create all the chairmen and these crazy ranks. It was just to learn how to trade. And I had been in network marketing for roughly a 6-year span. And before that, it was nothing special. I left school when I was about like 17 years old, left my mom's house that same exact year, and kind of had to figure it out on my own, kind of had to go out there, get the hustle in, right? Kind of had to find myself in some humiliating experiences, whether it was sleeping on friends' couches, sleeping on park benches, working jobs that I hated. I had 21 jobs before I was 21 years old. Couldn't hold down a job, but I was always the hardest worker in the room. I was always the person that, you know, gave my absolute all. While the people were texting next to me, I was the one working. While somebody was showing up late with an excuse, I was the one working. I just had a problem for authority, right? I had a problem for people telling me what it is to do, when it is to do it, how it is that I should do it, especially when I knew that I was better at my job than a lot of the people telling me to do so, right? So my first endeavor in in entrepreneurship, it wasn't legal, right? And for me, it put me in a situation where I started to realize not all money is good money. And I wanted to find something that I could make my family proud, something that I could make my fiance proud, something that I could be proud of myself, right? Something that I knew had longevity, kind of create a plan. I had never really heard of personal development. I had never seen anything when it came to business related, right? My family wasn't that family. We were the family that, you know what, you finished your high school. Very few went to college, even fewer graduated college. And then from there on out, you find a job and you work and you put food on the table for the family, no matter what it takes, right? So entrepreneurship for me wasn't really spoken about. I was raised to think that money is the root of all evil, right? Because of the lack of money that was in my home. And I had a certain stigma towards wealthy individuals. But it wasn't until I met my first wealthy individual, one of the first people that really made an impact on me, which was Alex Morton. I remember walking into a home event in our first company. I rep the company proudly. It was Bima. I had the time of my life with it. And it was wild because I walk in there and I just saw this kid, you know, young kid. He was absolutely crushing it. Nowhere near how he's crushing it now. But I remember seeing that and I was like, I got that it factor. And as a matter of fact, I think I can teach people that it factor. So network marketing, it was an immediate decision. From the moment I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm in. What's next? I'm going pro. It was never an option that I was going to do this it doesn't matter. There's four types of people that do this business. You got the sometimers, the part-timers, the full-timers, and the all-the-timers, right? And it doesn't matter the amount of time that you're putting into this. It's what you're doing during that time. But I decided that I was going to go pro no matter what it took. I was going to make it happen. So Jason, I remember, you know, after Vima was just about to shut down, Jason gave me a call. And he said, look, man, you know, I'm working with the CEO of this company, and we thought that we could be a part of a massive startup. And that company's doing absolutely phenomenal these days as well. But, you know, it just wasn't our fit. And the entire time, like, yeah, I was making the most money I'd ever made in network marketing. I was what you would consider a P2K in that business, right? And I was excited about the lifestyle. I was excited about the comp plan, but I really wasn't excited about, you know, the company itself, the products. And for me, it was the culture that kept me going, the culture that Jay and I had created, the culture that I bought into. And for the first time when I found out about trading, there was no culture attached to it. There was no comp plan attached to it. It gave me the equal opportunity that somebody like Chris Terry had, right? And I decided to start asking questions. Fortunately, I asked the right questions to the right people. You know, before Jason mentioned, I lost some money trading, trying to trade on my own. Somebody stole money from me online as well. I mean, it was just a never-ending cycle of, damn, how can I learn how to trade? How can I learn how to trade? How can I learn how to trade? It was God sent. I finally messaged an individual by the name of Austin Godsey. And a lot of you guys know who that is, Chairman 100. And he said, look, man, I want to get you on a call. I'm launching something massive right now. And he introduced us to Christopher Terry. And, you know, 15-minute conversation turns into 2 hours. And I was sold. Jason was like, you know, we got to stay focused. We're going to stay customers. So that's what we did. You know, you follow the leader, right? Your leader makes a move. If you have that blind trust, that blind love, that blind faith, and you truly respect that leader, you kind of make that move. You got me? And he said, we're going to remain customers. I said, all right, bet. But every day I was like, yo, we got to build. We got to build. He was like, stay focused, Matt. And eventually one day he walked into the room, and we were living in this tiny little apartment. And he comes in the room and he's like, yo, bro, it's go time. And we never looked back.
Matt, you know, you just showing your balcony view, the beach and the sunny weather in Miami. That was just an evil move to all us British people who are here in this miserable way. It is freezing. You know, I've got this on right now, Matt. And then there's you showing me. Let's go. Let's have one more look. Show us again.
One more time. Views.
That is some gold right there. And Matt, I remember you telling me when you were last in the UK, you were telling me how you got introduced to network marketing. It was something along the lines of you were told to come to a barbecue, right?
My buddy, I was hanging out at home. It was actually a Saturday. And my buddy, he told me, he was like, hey, come on over to a barbecue. We're going to have some drinks, jump in the pool, and eat. And if anybody said barbecue, I was super broke. So the moment they were offering free food, I was there. And I showed up, and it was a full-blown opportunity event. No food, nothing but a bunch of energy drinks being flown around and people fired up out of their minds.
That was a shocker. Right? So you turned up for chicken, and there was no chicken. Just a PowerPoint and someone drawing circles on a piece of paper.
No Nando's.
No Nando's. But what I wanted to ask both Jason and yourself, Matt. Now, you guys getting to where you have so far, it is incredible. And I know Jason, I know Matt, you guys see this a lot as well, where people really feel that the people who have made it to chairman, the people who gain massive success like yourself, Jason, like yourself, Matt, people think you kind of walked into it, that, you know, you took a pill and after this pill, you just became chairman 500. Like, oh, I'll just take the chairman 500 pill. Or, you know, there's a certain door and you just have to walk and open the right door and walk in and, oh, I'm chairman 500, right? So I know you two know this even better than me, how there are a lot of people who don't realize the amount of hard work and disappointments and letdown and heartbreak and people stabbing you in the back and failures that you have to go through to get to where you are today. And Jason, something that has stayed with me, you've probably forgotten because this was over a year ago when we first met that you told me. Jason's actually, I've just realized, Jason, you have known me ever since I was a customer. So when we first met, I wasn't even Platinum 150. I was Platinum 150 and I'd lost rank and gone to 2 and 3, right? So you've known me since then, and I remember when we first met, you were telling me about how, I mean, I'll paraphrase it. I'd love to hear the story from you again. You said how you were in network marketing, and then you struggled so much that you ended up moving back into your parents' house, and you were delivering pizzas. And there was a story that you told me that had me in stitches, because I asked you, I said, Jason, when did you realize that things really have to change? And you said, Asra, there was a point where I went to deliver pizza and the lady opened the door and it was my ex-girlfriend. And that's when I realized, okay, I got to do something, right? So I'm just going to unmute yourself, Jason, if you could, and then I'll pass it over to Matt. If you could talk through some of the struggles and the challenges you've gone through as an entrepreneur outside of IML, in IML. I remember Matt even telling me the story about her hitting chairman and then having to rebuild an organization, just so that people understand that you have to go through a series of challenges to get massive results the way you guys have.
Yeah, 100%. Matt, can you go first? There's a specific reason I want to go get something. Can you go first?
Okay, let me just find Matt. I'm telling you, I'm a DJ today. Jason, Matt, you guys have given me a new job.
I have necessary props, and this is because I love you, Asra. Hold on, I'll be back.
Okay, all right. Matt, I think I've unmuted you.
Yes.
Matt, could I request something? Because obviously I've spent a lot of personal time with yourself, Matt, and with Jason, and there's all these stories in my head and all these memories that I've got of things that you two have told me that have really inspired me and kept me going. Which is why, even though I've been through so many challenges and I'm still going through challenges, they're never going to stop, I keep going because I'm reminded of what you have shared with me about your journey. And I would love for you to share with us when you told me about how when you grew your business, you hit chairman, and then the challenges you went through in terms of rebuilding, etc.
Absolutely. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, guys. I'm gonna let you guys know the honest to God truth. It gets freaking tough, right? And I think that toughness is a rite of passage towards success. A lot of us are always asking God or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, please bless me with X, Y, and Z. Please bless me with X, Y, and Z. I would do this if I had this, right? Or I promise I would treat people X, Y, and Z, or do things for people X, Y, and Z if I had X, Y, and Z, right? And I think that God and the universe, they won't. A lot of us think that let's say we're asking for Chairman 10. They'll give you Platinum 2K and see what you're going to do with it, right? They'll give you P5K and see what you're going to do with it. When I started iMarkets Live, my end goal, like everything I needed was Chairman 100, right? And when we decided to freaking launch. So immediately we smacked Chairman 10. I went from making $2,000 a month up to the Chairman 10 60 days into launching, right? And I was super, super, super fired up beyond belief. And as I continued to grow, and as I continued to build, and as I became more emotionally attached, right, to the ranks, and I started to deviate away from what it is that I had originally wanted, what it is that I originally promised, right, if I had X, Y, and Z. So we actually have people coming to check out our apartment right now. So let me grab some, let me go to a private area. So I began to deviate away from that process. And at that moment, I was hit with one of the biggest tests of my career. Imagine all you've wanted, you've been in the industry 3 years, 4 years, all you've wanted is to hit that six-figure income, not just because of the money, but because of the fact that it proves to you that everything that you've been thinking about finally is real. And you finally hit it. And then overnight, we went from thousands on my team to hundreds. Another company came, and unfortunately, I lost a vast majority of the entire team, which meant that I lost a vast majority of my income as well. And I had two options. Option number one, cry about it, which I did. I was devastated. And sulk and blame everything else except for myself. Or B, suck it up. You're gonna fall as you're running towards your goals, especially for those of you guys that are sprinting. You're gonna fall. The trick is to get back up no matter what happens. That's where consistency comes into play. That's where your mindset comes into play. So myself, Jason Brown, Brandon Boyd and a few other leaders. We flew out to Las Vegas. We sat down with Chris. We mastermind. Back then, iMarkets Live looked like Windows 98, right? We didn't have the swipe point. We didn't have IML TV. We didn't have a Gold Cup. We didn't have Pit Talk. We didn't have swipe trades. We didn't have any of this. We didn't have an academy. We had a scanner. We had one auto trader, and that was pretty much it. We had Chris Terry doing a session every night. That was it. And we put all the puzzle pieces that needed to be put into place in order to really run this thing. When the dust settled, right? When the dust settled, when the tide receded, we were able to see what was left, who was there, who it was that was serious, who it was that we could work with. One of those individuals, Chris Derrick, right? Chris Derrick, look at him now, Chairman 25, IML educator, one of the best traders in the industry. Because since everyone left, he had that personal mentorship with Chris Terry. You see, everything happened for a reason. I felt like I was on the top of my game, traveling, touring, jumping on planes, jumping on trains, sleeping on couches, sleeping in hotel rooms, speaking on stages. I thought I was at the top of my game. And then it was all taken away like this. And we got it back, and I was at what most people would consider stagnant for almost a year. And it's crazy. I speak to leaders all over the world, and they tell me, Matt, I've been stuck at P2K. You've been blessed at P2K. People say, oh, I've been stuck at P5K. You've been blessed at P5K. You've been blessed that you can maintain that. I've been stuck at Chairman. Stop. You're blessed to be where it is that you're at right now. And this is God's way of handing you the rock, handing you the ball, and saying, hey, look, you asked for this now. What you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it, right? At that moment, when you're receiving the smallest bit of success, I want you to understand that that is just a precedent, right? That is just the very, 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 very start to what it is that you could potentially see if you handle that situation accordingly and effectively with integrity and doing it the right way, right? So for me, I lost all the income in order to, way beyond surpass our expectations. We got back to Chairman 10. Jason brings in Alex Morton. Alex Morton brings in Yvonne Tapia. Yvonne Tapia brings in David Imonite. Next thing I know, Chairman 25, Chairman 50, Chairman 100, Chairman 250. Boom! Chairman 500. All the ranks smashed in less than a year. You see, I'm letting you know right now that the tough times are going to come. But they don't last. Only the tough people do. So I'll pass this back on over to you, Asher.
Matt, thank you. I'm just going to see if Jason...
got his prop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're ready. Jason's over ready.
I was listening to the story. I always like the story. You know, you can never on your road to success. You know, let me just address this too. You know what really is successful? You know what really is success? What really is fulfillment? I don't know. You know, a lot of people are like, how do I become successful? The question I have to ask you is, you know, and you might answer this yes right now, but the answer will be no later for sure, is like, when you hit chairman, are you going to be fulfilled? And a lot of people will say yes, but then the answer is going to be no. So I don't really know what the true definition of success is, but just hearing about Matt talk and just hearing Matt talk about the journey and, you know, kind of our progression through some ups, followed by, you know, some downs, followed by some way bigger ups. It's always refreshing to hear. And so what I wanted to go get actually was some credit cards. I have them in my safe, but these are the actual credit cards that I lived off of. Not this one. This is a cruise ship card from my first company incentive trip like a couple years ago. I don't know why that was in there, but some credit cards. So I want to bring you guys back into, you know, kind of the journey for me, and it'll be good to have this so you could at least see that this is real, you know. So I got involved in network marketing September 4th, 2013. I had left my job 100%. I was making about $8,000 to $10,000 a month. So basically, I was Chairman 10 in the real world, you know, and in the real world, and so I left that, went all in for network marketing. I figured, man, I'm going to make six figures right away. I told my parents, yeah, I'm going to make six figures my first 90 days. No problem. This will be easy. 700 people, no problem. And then the reality of the world hit. And it doesn't matter how good you think you are, how many people you think you know, you have skills to learn. Pay attention closely. If you want to be good at this, You want to be good in IML. You want to be a good network marketer. You want to be a good trader. There are skills that you have to learn and skills that you have to master, and it's going to take time, and you cannot get around that. Matt Rosa 5 years ago is nowhere close to Matt Rosa today, and Matt Rosa in 5 years will be nowhere close to where he is now. Same with me, same with Asra. When I met Asra, she was an opener. She opened the meeting. There was 50 people in the UK. There was like 75 people in the room. She opened. We had a mic with a cord on it. Okay, and Asra was the one pushing the PowerPoint. Okay, so where you are a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, is not where you're going to be today. But the one thing is incredible vision, right? So I had incredible vision, and even when I was 4, 5, 6, 7 months in, without major results, you know, the first month in, I made about $3,000 in bonuses and commissions, but I was hustling. I was like literally 12 to 14 hours a day, sitting at a computer, talking to people, having them come over my apartment, doing 8, 9, 10, sometimes 12 one-on-ones in a day. I had my list, and I was inviting people. Okay, come at 4:30. All right, it's 5:15. You got to go. I got somebody else coming. Sign up so I can put them under you. Bang, bang, bang. I mean, I was like a machine, and I made about $3 to $4 grand, but my residual was like $300 to $400. And I always say this, but if this is your first company, you guys have no idea how blessed you are. Matt and I built organizations that would have been equivalent to Platinum 5,000 in our first company, and we made about $500 to $800 a month. Let me say it again. We had over 200 actives at one point, both of us in different teams. Matt and I were not in the same organization in our first company. Both of us reached about the same level, 150 to 250 actives for about a year straight. Our biggest months were $800 to $1,000 residual. IML is a big deal, okay? So if you're a P1000, you're blessed. If you're a P2000, you're definitely blessed. P5000 and above, you're super blessed. So when people start talking about, I don't have this, I don't have that, I just stop listening, because you have no idea what we went through for such a long time. But, you know, I had some money and I ran out. You know, first year in network marketing, I made, what did my accountant say? I made $7,000 year one. I made $19,000 year two, and $8,000. No. Something like that. Yeah, about $16,000 year two, and like $8,000 year three. Okay, so do that math. Some of you guys make more money than me already my first 3 years. Okay, and then year four, it was 160,000. Year five, 1.8 million. Year six, this is year six, it will be about 4 or 5 million. So is it worth it? For sure. But you have to get through that year three, 7,000 to get where you want to go, you know? But fortunately for me, well, I thought it was fortunate. I had this credit card, which started off as a $3,000 minimum and then became like a $5,000 minimum, which I maxed out. And so then I applied for a Spirit. Now, just so you guys know the struggle in the States, Spirit is like the worst airline ever. Like, they mess everything up. They lose your bags. They're always late. You know, if you have to take them, you take them, but you don't take them, basically, unless you have to take them. Honestly, at some points, I think I'd rather ride a bike to where I want to go than to take Spirit. But so I had this credit card, okay, and they gave me like a $1,200 minimum, and then they bumped it a little bit. And so I maxed this out. And this is actually as a leader in my company, because Matt was in my team at this point. So I had to travel to Miami to do home events. I had to travel to different, you know, markets and stuff like that. To travel and to fly, I used this credit card and I maxed it out. Then I got approved for this credit card, which is a Discover card. Okay. And they gave me like a $5,000 minimum, then an $8,000 minimum that I also maxed out during that time. So do the math, we're up around 15,000. And then I had my mom co-sign on this card, okay, which is a Citi card for a $10,000 minimum. So I had $25,000 in credit cards completely maxed out when I joined IML. I was $70,000 in debt, 45,000 student loans. Those credit cards that I just showed you guys were also maxed out. But I had incredible vision. I never, buckled. I never turned back. I never turned my back on network marketing. But my lifestyle changed a little bit. I had to go back with my parents. Luckily for me, one of my good friends owned a delivery company where he took delivery drivers and then he took the restaurants, and he basically partnered the two. Kind of what Uber Eats is doing. Some of you guys may be familiar. I'm sure you will. It's a big thing here in the States, and it's just getting bigger. But basically, you order food from the restaurant, driver delivers it to your house. So because of that, he was one of my best friends. I was able to go and get the best shifts, and I was making, $300 sometimes on a Friday or Saturday. So I was making money, maybe $800 to $1,000 a week. But still, you're not doing network marketing. You're not having success. You're not, making that residual income that you're after. And so most people quit. Actually, there's people on this call right now that probably will quit right before their miracle. Well, 100%. I do not expect all 300 plus people to get through the hardest times in life because it's not easy. But I will tell you this, if you are the person who can get through that tough time, God lets go of that ultra grip. When you're working out and it's leg day and your quads hurt and it's back day and your back hurts, or it's arm day, your arm hurts, it's temporary. That stuff comes to an end. And it makes you better because you always grow more muscle after. But you got to go through the pain to get to your progress. And so I did deliver Chinese food. It was actually sushi. My ex-girlfriend opens up the door, and it was terrible. So, but actually now, the joke's not on me, so it's all good. But at the time, it was horrible. And it's exactly what I needed. I needed that to say, okay, you're too comfortable. You're still going out with your friend. Because here's the thing. Even though I could say, oh, this company didn't pay me what I was worth, this didn't do that, this didn't do that, I also have to look back and be accountable for my own actions. Was I being 100% the leader I needed to be? Was I 100% dedicated like I needed to be? And that answer is definitely no. I was still going out and watching baseball. As you guys could tell, I love sports. I'm like literally, it's like IML and sports are my life. And, I was still not being productive. And so I did go through hell to get where I am today. And I just encourage you guys to understand that no matter where you're going through right now, you're headed in the right direction. But a lot of it starts here, and you got to have that mental conditioning. Back to you, Oscar.
Jason, I can't believe that you still remember that, because you travel to so many countries and you're doing so many events, but you remember our first ever event where I was the tech guy.
Oscar was the tech guy. I remember we were so early in the UK, the budget was probably like $1,000. And you had the cordless microphone. I mean, we didn't even have, we had a wireless microphone, but it was like broken or something like that. So the struggle, the come up can never be forgotten.
Yeah, no, I remember that. And I also remember, I probably shouldn't say it on the call, but it's just too funny. I remember when you walked in, that was the first time I'd ever seen you. And I was trying to plug in the cord, the mic with the cord into whatever you do. And then you tripped over the cord.
Yeah, I did. She almost killed me, guys. You see this? But we made it. And
then you tripped over, like, welcome to the UK, right? But no, I already knew, Jason, about your, you've told me before about the credit cards and the $75,000 debt, but I've never seen you break it down like that. That is incredible. Which kind of leads me on to my next question, that when you are in that state, I mean, you made a very clear point that 300 plus people in the call, not everyone's going to make it through the struggles, and most will quit right before their miracle, which is the most saddest part. So when you are in a state where you are in that amount of debt, when you are struggling and you want to make it, but you don't know if it's going to happen, what kept you going? What did you do religiously from that point up until chairman, even now? What were the religious activities you were doing to keep you going and to get you to where you are today?
I think, honestly, one of the biggest things, there's a couple things, and I'll keep this short because Matt will have a great answer for this as well. But I think a few of the things for me that were very important in the beginning were Jim Rohn, and primarily Jim Rohn's audio called Building Your Network Marketing Business. That was very, very, very important, and is still very, very, very important, because there's there's philosophical principles in that audio that condition you for literally everything that you're going to encounter. The set of the sail, the law of averages, the sowing of the seed, just the things that are going to be important. I listened to that audio whenever I needed it. Whenever I felt burnt out or drained, I would just go back, kick in, listen to that audio. In fact, I think I'm going to get off this webinar today, working on the new back office with the programmers and stuff, but I think I'm going to plug that in on YouTube and just listen to it again because I just love it. And so that was huge for me. The fundamentals with GoPro, Eric Worre. So whenever I felt like burnt or drained out, I always went back to the basics. A lot of people get drained and burned out and they try to go up a level in their personal development education. But I like to go back to the basics or back to my creator. Now, there's a lot of different religions around the world. I believe in what I believe. You believe in what you believe. But I do believe that a spiritual connection and a connection of you to a source of faith, okay? A source of faith, whatever it is that you believe in, I respect. I believe that connection is extremely important for you to get through the longevity of your journey. I know for Matt and myself, we've been much closer to God the last year, 6 months to a year. And so whenever I need something refreshed, I'll throw on some worship music while I'm working out, while I'm meditating. I'll get back to the basics of network marketing, Jim Rohn, Eric Worre. I'm also big on, for an entrepreneur that's really trying to do it, I'm also big on protecting your negative energy. That's probably one of the biggest things that I stayed consciously aware of, is not letting the wrong people into my circle of influence, not caring about negative buzz on social media, blocking people who are negative, blocking people who weren't helping me, blocking people who are pushing me back. That's a huge factor. And also being conscious of my health, right? Working out, going to the gym, eating right? Maybe taking things out of your diet that aren't helping you. Because if I'm healthy and you're not, I'm going to outwork you. It's not even a question. It's a guarantee that if I'm on my game, I'm working out, I'm going to the gym, I'm eating good, my diet's good, I'm going to outwork you over it's 24-hour span, 24-year span guaranteed. And so that's not just me saying it, it's just a general principle. So there's a couple of different factors there: personal development, spirituality, health and wellness. Very, 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 very key.
Jason, thank you. Matt, I'm going to give you your final question because I know that you have to run. I'm just going to unmute you. What I wanted to ask you, Matt, and I remember it was a conversation me and you had when you were last here in the UK, is what is leadership? Because a lot of people love having the title of a leader. I'm a leader, right? I'm a Platinum 150 leader. I'm a Platinum 2000 leader, whatever it might be. What is a leader to you, and what kind of qualities does a leader have in your opinion?
There's a gentleman named Simon Sinek. He wrote a book called, two really good books. The first one is Start With Why, and the second one is Leaders Eat Last, right? Simon Sinek has the second most viewed TED Talk in the entire world. The guy is an absolute beast, and he really specializes on the psychology behind leadership, and not just what makes a good leader, but why people follow, right? And one of the quotes that he said, I'm gonna try to paraphrase it for you, but he said, there are leaders and there are people who lead, right? Leaders often come from a place of entitlement. They have some sort of a rank or maybe a title, like your boss or a manager at a job. And often they'll go ahead and they'll sacrifice the people for the profits or the sake of the company, or whatever it is that their belief structure is, right? Those are individuals that really are not coming from a place of motivation, inspiration, and education. People follow them not because they want to, but people follow them because they're afraid of the consequences of what's going to happen in the event that they don't. But then you have people who lead, people who don't need a title, A title is the lowest level of leadership that there is. Leadership really comes from your actions, the way it is that you treat people, the way it is that you react to certain situations, your consistency, right? Your willingness to put the people before the profits. There's no need for a rank. There's no need for some sort of a title or anything along those lines, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to let you know right now, I know some individuals that, in all honesty, their rank is up here, but their leadership levels are down here, right? And then I've seen other individuals where their rank is down here for now, but their leadership levels are up here, and that's why it'll catch up. Your income will always fall back down to where your level of leadership is, right? Or it'll rise to wherever your level of leadership is. People get paid what it is that, especially when they're an entrepreneur, what it is that they bring to the table, for the value that they bring to the table, right? And people who lead, these individuals can get people to follow them despite what's going on in a certain economy, despite what the beliefs may be, despite the cultural barriers, right? They're able to get people to truly follow, right? And it's because of the fact that they're leading from a place of motivation, inspiration, education. That's really what makes a good leader, right? It's not the title you possess, the money in your bank, or any of that BS, right? At the end of the day, what makes a really good freaking leader is what they're doing when they're in the trenches, when nobody else is looking, when there's literally nothing at stake for them, or there's nothing to gain for them, and they're still going ahead and helping certain individuals. They're still reacting in certain manners. That is what makes an amazing leader.
So yourself, Matt, you're saying that you don't even look at the guy making money. You don't even look at the guy who's got the rank. You're looking at his activity, his work, and you're looking at, most importantly, his character.
Absolutely. It was funny. I think I was at Chairman 100, and I was sitting down with David and Monique. We were having dinner, and he was like, "I know that Paylution here, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, it did." And it was actually my highest week during that time. And I showed it to him. He was like, "Bro, that's impressive." He was like, "You know what's more impressive? Is like the numbers that come behind the residual, fast start bonuses." He was like, that to me is what's impressive. And that's what I judge leaders off of in this industry. It's like, I don't want to know what your team's doing for you. I want to know what you're doing for your team. And after I heard that, I was like, all right, bet. You know, for me, I don't, obviously the person at the front of the room with the marker makes the most money, right? Obviously the person making the most money has something that they can teach you, but that's not where it is that I drive off of. That's not where it is that fuels me. It's not the money that they're making, right? Because at the end of the day, Asha, that money isn't going to pay my bills. The money I make, the money Chris Terry makes, the money Alex Morton makes, the money that Jason makes, David makes, you know, it's awesome to be able to utilize that as social proof in order to shatter any stigma that's against this industry. But at the end of the day, the money we make is not going to pay your bills. That's not why it is that you follow us. The reason that you follow us is because I would hope the way it is that we carry ourselves.
Matt, just before you shoot off then, could you just share with us, because something that was taught to me as well is in terms of the activity a person does shows his level of leadership. Even the little things, people think leadership is all about the big things, but everything big starts off small. So it's the little things like always showing up. You know, you get people who reach a level of leadership. Again, I'm putting it in quotes because, you know, it depends on the character. But people who reach a level of leadership and then they don't turn up to a certain event because, oh, I'm not talking, or I've already been to that one. Or they won't turn up to a certain call because, oh, everything they're going to speak about, I've already heard about it. So what would you advise in terms of really reaching that level of leadership that you talk about and that impresses you in terms of showing up, the activity, being in the trenches, never missing trainings, never missing events? Is that something that you were doing as a Platinum 150, and would you advise that to everyone on the call?
At that level, Platinum 150, Platinum 600, that was like my first company. And I was told, if you want to be the individual that has a team throwing events, you got to be that individual throwing events. If you want to have a team of enrollers and aces and influencers, is what Eric Worre calls them, you need to be an influencer. You need to be an enroller. You need to be an ace. Right? If you want your team to do something, you got to do something in order to get them to do it, because they're not going to do what it is that you say. They're going to do what it is that you do. Right? And for me, that I've seen it happen. You know, we started touring all over the world, and then our teams began to tour as well. Touring wasn't a thing in our previous companies. That wasn't something massive. But now our teams began to do it, and we were able to cover more ground. So if you want to get your team to do something, you got to do that thing first. But there's a golden ratio, right, that you really need to stick to. And that golden ratio is that they're only going to do about 20% of what it is that you do. And 80% of the work is going to be done by 20% of the people that you focus on. So I'm going to say that again. They're only going to do about 20% of what it is that you do. And 80% of the people that 20% of the people that you focus on are going to do 80% of the work. So what do I mean by that? If you want your team enrolling massively, you got to go out there and 10x these people. If you want them throwing events, you got to go out there and 10x these people. You know, these events that we do, we want our teams to come to the Vegas events, to the Miami events, to all these events. So what are we doing? We're going out and we're buying 100 tickets at a time. We're buying flights for people to come in. We're buying hotels. We're buying this. We're buying that. We're spending thousands and thousands, tens of thousands and thousands of dollars into these events on a nonstop basis. You know, we want our teams to personally develop themselves. So what do? We bring them. Recently, the Miami team went to go see Grant Cardone. I spoke with Grant Cardone not too long ago, right? So the Miami team went over there and we went about 30 to 50 deep. Then from there, you know, we want our teams to learn from the network marketing legends. So we brought 100 people with us to ANMP, which is the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. I want my teams to learn from people like John T. Maxwell, but not only that, to bring their teams. So what does that mean? I'm buying 100 tickets for the GoPro event coming up this December. You see, you want your team to do something, you got to be that individual to do it. So what are your daily activities? We all know what they are, right? When I wanted to go from chairman 10 to chairman 25, I was talking to Alex. I was like, bro, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? What do I got to do? He said, bro, you know what you got to do already. You just got to do more of it, right? This business is easy to do. We know about the basics. We know that I ask any person on this call that wants to hit chairman, what are you going to do in order? How many is chairman? You know that it's 500 people, right? 200, 200, 100. You know that, right? You know to make a list, right? You know to invite, to watch the invite video, right? You know to throw an event, right? You know to do these things. You know to show up to the trainings. You know to utilize the products. You know. But that doesn't mean that you're doing so you're not growing, right? We all know what it is that we got to do. You don't need somebody like me or Asher to remind you. This is the easiest business to do. The messed up thing is that it's also easy not to do, right? It's so easy to be able to log on to IML TV. It's so easy to be able to jump on this call. It's even easier to send 3 text messages out to your top leaders and tell them to do the exact thing to promote this call, right? To the point that this is packed and nobody else can get on. It's easy to do that, but it's also easy to just Netflix and chill. It's also easy to scroll through Instagram the entire time. It's easy to do that stuff. The problem with this industry is that there's nobody micromanaging you. And it can be a blessing or a curse. There's nobody telling you what to do. And so many of us, it's normal. We've been raised in a student mindset, right? As a student in school, they're always telling us what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Then they raise us to be an employee. And they're always telling us what to do, how to do it, when to do it. So we come into something like this with so much leisure that we're like, crap, what do I do? You know what to do. You just got to go out and do it. Nobody's going to tell you to do it. Nobody's going to make you get on this call. You have accountability partners at the end of the day, but accountability partners, you could give the silence button real quick when they call, right? You can ignore the text when they call, when they send that message. You know what to do. You just got to do more of it already and be that individual that is truly an example and not just somebody that's telling you or telling your team what to do. Because you're going to go through several phases in your network marketing career. In the beginning, you're just gonna be hungry to sign anybody up. Then from there, you're gonna turn into a drill instructor. Then from there, you're gonna lose your teams and you're gonna go to the opposite side of the spectrum and become extremely loving. And hey, I love everybody, I care about everybody, but that's not gonna help them become better, because at the end of the day, you're telling them good job, good job, good job in order for retention, right? And then you're gonna hit the pinnacle level of leadership, right? And at that pinnacle level of leadership is where you truly, truly, truly have that level of influence. But in order to get there, it takes the day to day, brick by brick by brick by brick, nonstop consistency that is backbreaking. You do that, you're good to go. Now, some of you guys, it's going to take you 2 years, 3 years. Some of you guys may be like me. It takes 3+ in order to start seeing success in this industry. But don't allow somebody else's success to determine what it is that you're going to get done. And always keep in mind that you can't gauge your success to somebody else because you don't know all the scenarios to their life, their story, and what it is that they've been through. Stay focused on your prize, and you're good to go. So I actually got to clear it from here. Got to run downstairs, head to the next meeting. But I want to let you guys know that you guys are in amazing hands. Asha is somebody that I work with personally. She's somebody that I personally decided to partner with, right? I have people that contact me all the time. Matt, I want to work with you. Matt, I want to work with you. Matt, I want to work with you. I don't listen to what they say. I listen and watch what it is that they do. And I've seen her relentlessly. I've seen her grinding. I've seen her get hit before and stand back up. I've seen her stay determined. I've seen her not lose her composure. I've seen her stay focused. You're in good hands. Now, become partners. Don't just look at Asra to do everything for you, because at the end of the day, you guys are partners. I'm partners with the people in my organization. Asra's my partner, right? You need to get to the level that she is at, not just monetarily, but mentally, emotionally, and in different aspects, and really be able to run with her, not have her have to chase you or vice versa. Run together, and you guys are going to accomplish the world, I promise you. So with that being said, Asra, I'm going to turn this back on over to you, UK Squad. I love you guys. I'm going to see you guys very, very, very soon. Most likely second quarter of 2019. So talk to you guys soon.
Matt, thank you so very much. Can we just show him a lot of love in the chat box? Because I know you've got to run to another meeting, but it's such a pleasure to have you on this call. Thank you so much for taking time out. Matt, I'm going to see you at GoPro. I'm going to get my ticket, and I'm definitely going to see you there. We're going to wrap it up now. I'm going to hand it over to Jason. Jason, just final question for yourself, just to wrap up this call. We have, I would say, around 12 to 13 weeks till the end of the year, right? The end of 2018. And as leaders, you know, and everyone in the team as well, we want to end the year strong. We don't want to be those people that wait for the new year to start our life and do New Year resolutions. We want to end the year strong so it continues strong into 2019. What would be your advice?
So, look, I agree with you 100%, and appreciate you, Matt, for getting on here. Look, Asra, I agree with you. You know, a lot of people wait for that January 1st to come to say, I'm going to get in great shape, for that January 1st to come to say, I'm going to go lose weight, to do this, to do that, to stop drinking. Look, if there's something that you want to do that you know will 100% change your situation, will 100% project you in a new direction, will 100% help you grow, then just do it. You know, I tell people, like, what are you waiting for permission for? Nobody's going to come down with $1 million check and say, here you go, Asra, you know, we appreciate you. No, you got to work in life. You got to work. You know, I'm on this journey right now, and I've been on this journey for about 10 years. About 10 years, where I used to weigh 270 pounds, very unhealthy, very heavy set, overweight. And, you know, I made a decision back then to change my life, but it was a mild progression, right? Over the course of a year, I lost, about a year and a half, I went from 275 pounds down to about 200, maybe like 195, but very skinny, right? So then I had to start building muscle, build some muscle, put on a little more weight, started traveling, doing this, doing that. Then the last month and a half, I've been taking my workouts very serious. I'm seeing progress. I'm putting on more muscle, burning more fat. But I had to make a decision. I'm not waiting till January 1st to get healthy. People are dying every day of cancer, you know, losing limbs because of diabetes, sick, in the hospital. I don't have time for that. You know, my purpose on this earth is to serve and give value and help create thought leaders and independent servant leaders. So what good am I going to be bunked up in a hospital somewhere? Not good at all, right? If you want to truly make an impact, you want to change people, guys, you got to start working now. You want to hit chairman by the end of next year, you got to start working right now. The other thing that you need to do, and I'll get into kind of a game plan and how I think you guys should be framed in your mind to have success. But the other thing you have to do is destroy your limiting beliefs. 95% of people are not wealthy, and it's not because of where you're born. It's not because of what your parents do for work. You can change those things, right? I was born in a small town, all white people, no culture density. I was like sheltered from the world. I didn't even know where Slovenia was. I changed that. I went out and have friends now all over the world in every different race and religion. I've filled up one passport and am eager to fill up my second one, which is double the size. That my situation wasn't going to dictate who Jason Brown was, but my parents make six figures. My mom makes six figures. My dad made 40, 50,000 a year. I come from a just above six-figure household, which in the area I grew up in, New Jersey, taxes are through the roof. That is like just over comfortability, right? Just over that like first step, right? You're not wealthy at $150,000 a year in New Jersey. You're, middle class at best. And I became a multimillionaire because of a decision. And because I destroyed my limiting beliefs and I stretched them well beyond what I was conditioned for. You guys have to do the same thing. Some of you guys may be in Pakistan, Bangladesh, doesn't matter. Don't matter. I've got six-figure earners in third world countries. That's what we do. And it has nothing to do with where they were from. It has everything to do with what's up here. Okay, that's the key. And so start conditioning yourself today for success next year, for success in 2 years. You know what's really funny? I said in 2013, my friend said, what's your goal? What's your long-term goal? I said, I don't know. I want to be worth $10 million at the age of 30. At the age of 23, okay, I made that goal. So I gave myself 7 years to make $10 million. By the age of 27, by the age of 26, I was actually minus 70,000. So now I need to make $10,070,000 to hit that goal, and I will hit that goal 100%. I'll have $10 million in assets and money by 2020. Okay, by the time that I turn 30, which is next year. So here's my point: you have to put things out there that you actually go after. Right? That you actually have confidence and posture. You can't sit back and be all bummed out and not have confidence in yourself and not have belief in yourself, not have belief in how you look, not have belief in how you speak. People around you may be pushing you down, older brother, husband, wife. Get rid of it. Move on. If you want to be successful, you have to start making crucial decisions. Alicia, one of our Platinum 5000s, posted on her, Alicia Bush, she posted on her Instagram yesterday, something saying, girls, if you want to find the perfect husband, sometimes you have to remove your boyfriend. And I was like, damn, that is so powerful. Sometimes if you want something great, you have to remove something that's in the way. So I need you guys to start thinking bigger, right? If you want Chairman 10 by the end of next year, do the activities for Chairman 25. If you want Chairman 25, do the activities for Chairman 50. Danilo Delgado, one of my personals, one of my great friends out in Costa Rica, texted me and he said, Jason, should I be going for Chairman 50 or Chairman 100? I said, Danilo, you know me for 3 years. You already know the answer. Forget Chairman 50. Go for Chairman 100. Because when you aim so high, anything below that is great as well, right? When Matt and I hit Chairman 10, he goes, all right, what's next? I said, what do you mean what's next? Who cares? We're going for the top of the comp plan. That's it. There's one destination for greatness. And this isn't just for you guys to sit and go, oh my God, we were on a call with Jason Brown and Matt Rosa today. So cool. I'm fired up. No, we're not on these calls for us to become famous. Who cares? We're on these calls so that you guys can have these ridiculous breakthroughs and just go dominate. Just go make things happen. Stop sitting around waiting for someone to give you permission. Start today. I don't even care. Happy New Year. Well, we'll put on a hat. We'll drink some champagne. I want to go back to work. Are we done yet? Is this over? Next day, hangover, no shot. It's time to go. Who cares about all this stuff? I spend one day with my family on Christmas. I turn everything down, send my gratitude in the morning. That's family day. Thanksgiving, family day. Other than that, it's work for the family. Stop sitting around on your butt, playing Call of Duty, doing stuff that ain't getting you where you need to go. I could go on this all day. Like, I have no remorse for not being all in. You got to be all in if you want results. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you, oh yeah, tape dollar bills on your sink, have a, dream board and you'll become successful. Guys, you follow one of my mentors, one of my greatest friends, and honestly, probably the person who made the biggest impact, David Imonitie, on my life. But here's the thing that I want you guys to understand, because I know a lot of people hear David's story about how he, literally like manifested himself to becoming successful. And they're like, Jason, I went to David, David's conference. I studied David's videos. I've got a $100 bill on my sink. And I changed it to $1 million. I've got my dream board. I've got this. And I'm like, all right, great. But what did you do last week? How many three-way calls did you do? Because here's the difference. I could tell you how many meetings David's having. I could see how many three-way calls, how many webinars, how many this, how many that. Those are the measurables. Yes, the belief is huge, but the action is also important, okay? It is important. Don't go run up $25,000 in credit card debt just to think that if you do that, you're gonna become a millionaire. You better have 25,000 phone calls in a year if you wanna become chairman. So you guys gotta work. That's the key. The belief is 99%. But the work is the other 99%. I'm telling you, yes, I know that's 197 or whatever. Who cares? Not good at math, don't care. But here's the point. It's like 99% mental and the other half is work. Go out and just do it. That's it. That's what you need to do for next year. If you want P5000, shoot for Chairman 10. If you don't believe you can hit Chairman 10, shoot for Chairman 25. I always tell people this, that if your goals do not scare you, then just keep doubling until they do. I see Javon, my boy up in Toronto, Canada, is on the call, right? So watch this. Javon will come to me and say, look, I want to hit chairman. Good. Then your 2019 goal as a P5000 right now, your 2019 goal is chairman 50. And I know that there's some other ranks in between, but if you only shoot for chairman 10, where are you really going to end up? In between P5, chairman 10, or what's even worse, you get to your goal and you wasted all your energy getting to your goal. That's the worst part. You bust your butt for a year, 2 years, going for chairman 10, chairman 25, okay? And then when you get there, you're so burnt out because that was your goal. That was your focus. You were so focused on that you don't even know what to do next. So aim for the top of the comp lane. Aim for chairman 500. Then all this little stuff that happens, 10 people leaving your team, 5 auto ships don't go through today. This person got 2 and free, so you lost volume and you're not qualified anymore. It doesn't matter. We lost 6,000 people in a month. Who cares? That's not gonna look. I need 30,000 to go to chairman 500. 6,000 more, big deal. We derank. Okay, keep going. Who really cares if your goals are big enough? So much love, guys. I got to jump on a call. New back office, God willing, this coming week, we're hammering out final details. We're going through a bunch of different stuff right now. So I have to meet the programmers on a call in T-minus 5 minutes ago. But I got really excited and fired up about that question, Oscar.
You get on that call because we want that back office. So you jump on that call quickly.
That back office is going to help us all get to those goals. So let's get it, guys. I got Hua over here. He's hidden behind the Hua, raise your hand. Hua's the graphic designer for IML. He's just a hand. But he's over here. We're hammered it out. We're going to watch the Yankee game and get ready for that back office next week. So much love, guys. Hope you love Pip Talk, Gold Cup, plug in. They're amazing. I've heard nothing but great feedback. Asra, all the leaders on here. Appreciate you. We got to do this more often. I get fired up. So thanks, guys. See you soon.
Jason, thank you so very much, guys. The chat box is going absolutely crazy. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you who turned up, because 80% of success is showing up. So you guys did 80% of the work. Now the remaining 20% is what you do after you leave this call. You heard what Jason said. Don't be somebody who plugs in to say, oh, look at me. I plugged in and I saw Chairman 500, Jason Bann, and Chairman 500, Matt Rosa. Oh, look at me. No, get the job done. Let's get off this call and do what we have to do. I have recorded the entire course, so it will be up on my YouTube channel. If somebody could kindly put the YouTube channel link in the chat box, that would be much appreciated so everyone knows where to go to get this recording. But other than that, thank you again so much for plugging in. And you guys know my favorite line by now. I'm going to see you all at the top because that's where I'm going. And that's where I want to meet you guys, because the bottom is far too crowded. Thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.